Hey everybody, Yankee here. I'm sure most of you are aware by now that Kamala Harris has chosen her vice presidential running mate, and it's going to be Tim Walz. Now, I didn't know a lot about Tim Walz. I don't think anybody did. But I think a lot of people are wondering, where does he stand on gun rights? And I want to talk about that today. Like I said, I didn't know much about him. The only thing I was really surprised when I found out about him, or the thing that most surprised me, is that he's only in his 60s. He looks like he's about 92 years old, which I was surprised when they first chose him, because I was like, why are they choosing this bushy-eyebrowed old bastard for a ticket that's supposed to appeal to young people? But apparently he's not as old as I thought he was. But like I said, a lot of people are wondering where he stands on gun rights, because he's now part of the Harris-Walz ticket, or the Harry Balls is how I like to remember the ticket. Now that he's part of that, they're like, where's he stand on gun rights? He used to have an A from the NRA, now he's got an F. Well, he got the F kind of automatically when he ran against a Republican. And let's keep in mind, the NRA ratings don't mean anything. Just because he had an A didn't mean he was a good gun rights guy. They love Fudds at the NRA. They give A and B ratings to a lot of Republicans that have horrible gun rights voting records. And they give D's and F's to Democrats who have better gun rights voting records than the Republicans in some states. So it's really a political thing. It doesn't have anything to do with how good they are on gun rights. So let's look at Tim Walz himself and see where he stands on gun rights, because a lot of people are like, oh, he's a veteran. He's pro-gun. He's a hunter. So therefore, he should be on our side, the side of the Second Amendment. And that makes the Harry Balls ticket a lot more palatable. And some people in the middle might be thinking, well, I can vote for him because they got that pro-gun guy there. And I want to let people know right now, he is not pro-gun. He might be pro-gun to a degree, but he's not pro-Second Amendment. And that's what you should really worry about. Tim Walz is a Fudd through and through. He's the definition of Fudd. Now, a lot of people don't seem to understand the term Fudd. They think Fudd just means a guy who likes old stuff. Like if you like 1911s and revolvers, that makes you a Fudd. No, a Fudd is someone who thinks that as long as he gets the stuff he wants, like his hunting rifle, and his sidearm, and as long as those things are allowed, he's happy. And he, of course, doesn't believe everybody should have guns, because a lot of people just can't handle it. That's a Fudd. This guy's a Fudd. He's never been a pro-Second Amendment guy. He's just likes guns and likes to hunt. That doesn't make him pro-Second Amendment. No more so than it makes some of the gun channels on YouTube pro-Second Amendment. They're just pro-gun. People that are pro-Second Amendment are no compromise when it comes to gun rights. Which is why I take some positions that are not popular with some people, like no background checks. Anyone who's not in prison can buy and own a gun. Because I believe in the Second Amendment. I just don't like guns. I do like guns, but I also believe in the Second Amendment. At its core, I think it's one of the most important amendments. Tim Walz doesn't feel that way. Like I said, Tim Walz is a total Fudd. Out of one side of his mouth, he says, guns are good for hunting and blah, 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 and everyone should have them, and gun safety is not a threat to my gun rights. But you know what is a threat to gun rights? Red flag laws. Bans on certain types of guns just because you don't like them, and you mislabel them as weapons of war. That's very Fuddish, and that is a threat to people's gun rights. So you say out of one side of your mouth, I'm not a threat to gun rights, and then you immediately threaten gun rights. You pass red flag laws. You pass assault weapons bans because you don't like semi-automatic weapons of war. And I put the quotes around the wrong part there, but you know what I mean. You don't like assault weapons. You don't think anybody needs them because you don't want them, so you don't think anybody needs them. That's a Fudd. And the red flag thing, that's just, the government at any time, and law enforcement, which is the lockstep thugs that support the government's rulings, they can just take your rights away at any time and there's nothing you can do about it. Because we're going to make it a law to where they can do that. And the Supreme Court upholds it. They say, the government has a long-standing tradition of taking away the rights from people they deem dangerous. So don't think the Supreme Court's on our side that much either. They rule for us when they have to. When there's no other measure, no other thing they can do without looking horribly bad and without having people storm the freaking building. So he is, like I said, a Fudd. He believes in his heart that, oh, hunting's fun, and, police should have guns, and the soldiers should have guns, but people shouldn't. And we should be able to say as a government and community which people can and can't have guns. That is not Pro-2A at all. This guy has no Pro-2A merits, period. I don't care if he did have an A rating from the NRA. That A rating was based on the fact he's a Fudd that likes to hunt, and the NRA loves that. That's the only thing that was pro-gun about him. He is not pro-Second Amendment. Get that out of your head. Like I said, he passed things like assault weapons ban. He passed things like red flag laws. The only good thing he did while he was governor is that he did limit no-knock warrants. One of the bills he passed actually said police can't engage in no-knock warrants except in very specific circumstances. That I'm okay with. I'm okay with saying some things people do are good. Even a broken clock's right twice a day. Unless it's digital, then it's probably never right, period, because it doesn't work. But like I said, he is not Pro-2A. He's a little bit pro-gun in a very fuddish way, but get it out of your head that he's someone you can vote for with a clear conscience if the Second Amendment is very important to you. Because he is not. He is very anti-Second Amendment. He's very anti-freedom. He is very anti-unbridled Second Amendment. He is very anti-everyday, ordinary people having things he doesn't think they should have, or enjoying their rights without the government being able to strip them away on a moment's notice. So, like I said, if you're trying to look for a way that you can vote for Harris instead of voting for Trump, this is not the reason. Do not do this. If you are Pro-2A and you want to vote for the candidate that's Pro-2A, well, good luck to you, because there ain't one. But the Trump-Vance ticket is definitely not as demonstrably anti-2A as the Harris or Harry Balls ticket is. So like I said, if the Second Amendment is your most important issue, there's just no way you can vote for Harry Balls. You got to vote the other way. Or you got to vote a third party. Build a third party. I do that in my state because in my state, the Democrat's going to win no matter what. So if I voted Republican, that's throwing that vote away. People like to talk about, if you vote anything but the two major parties, you're throwing your vote away, and that's garbage. In my state, voting Republican is throwing your vote away. Throw it behind a third party candidate that might even serve us better. If you live in a state, and this goes the other way, if you live in a state that is going to go Republican no matter what, voting Democrat is throwing your vote away. Vote for a third party that might serve you better. Build up some more parties in this country instead of throwing your votes away. Because the way the Electoral College works, the way delegates work, when you're voting in a state that's going to go one way and you vote the other, you are throwing your vote away. Put that behind a third party. But, like I said, remember, the Harry Balls ticket is not pro-gun. This Tim Walz is not Pro-2A. He's a Fudd through and through who is more than willing to strip away your Second Amendment rights.